They're coming in now.
They're coming out. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, any questions? Good morning. Good morning. A lot of people out playing. So the grounds look beautiful. School looks beautiful. Think children are beautiful. What questions do you have? Yes.
Peace and blessings, Madam Mayor. So I'm asking this question in the context of conversations I've had with people in Maryland and Virginia. A lot of envy around the offerings that DC has for young people between CTE and between late night hype, a lot of opportunity for young people. Mm-hmm. My question for you is, what appears to be the disconnect between the plethora of offerings for young people and just the what we're seeing with young people in the streets and just their concerns about public safety? How is it that with everything that DC offers, young people still feel that they're not safe and that there's no opportunity here for them?
I don't think that that's what the majority of people feel, young people, old people, or people in the middle. Certainly, I would agree, and I appreciate the statement that we as a city have invested in so many opportunities just here at this beautiful school, looking this beautiful campus where we have kids who are engaged in robotics and a bridge program to middle school. It's just an amazing opportunity. Over 12,000 of our kids are in a summer youth opportunity where they're learning about careers, they're earning and learning. I don't know how many you have in summer enrichment at DC Public Schools, but it's another big chunk. And 8,000 kids are in very affordable summer camps as we speak. So there are a lot of activities for young people. We continue to want to have kids who are a little bit older, who aren't as interested in camp anymore, to make sure that there are activities for them. And that's why the summer youth engagement is so important, and so is the evening engagement. So we live in a world that's different, however, that kids are on social media, they're involved in social media chats and meetups, and not all the activity is positive. So I think as a society, not just as a government, but as a community, as family, as church, as all of the other important institutions, we need to continue to think of ways to engage young people and give them the positive attention and feedback that they think they're seeking or that they are seeking, and sometimes negative behavior.
No doubt. And my next question might be either for you or Chancellor Fairby, or even both. What's the long-term strategy here as it relates to workforce development? You know, so we have a pipeline coming in. Are you looking at the trends of what jobs are popping? You know, where's the alignment as far as preparing this crop of young people for present jobs or jobs that are coming up so that they can
Sure, I will turn to the Chancellor, but as you know, our Department of Employment Services, our Workforce Investment Council, our whole public education team in DC government that includes DCPS, the public charter schools, Parks and Rec, libraries, and the University of the District of Columbia is focused on jobs that we need to fill. We have a lot of jobs in the city that go unfilled by DC residents. And a good chunk of them are good paying family sustaining jobs that we want to make sure our young people are prepared for. We have some years ago now started an infrastructure academy where people are trained and there's a job for them at the end. The CTE programs I'll ask the Chancellor to talk about, and our advanced technical centers programs across the city. We're going to open a new one in Ward 8, I think this month, where we are training kids for available jobs. In addition to the early college programs at DCPS, we just met one of the instructors who's at Coolidge Health Sciences Academy, where children will graduate with skills and sometimes certificates. So that is the alignment. Now that's not it, however, because we have a lot of skilled workers in our city, and some of them are going to be looking for employment. And so focusing on how to keep our great talent in the district is another part of the work that we'll do in our workforce investment strategies.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam, for that question. You know, in addition to the agencies that the mayor mentioned that we partner with, we have our own advisory, various industries that give us guidance around how we can best prepare our students for the opportunities ahead. We're especially focused on our high demand, high wage opportunities for students once they graduate in DCPS. But I think what you see today is the long game of exposure and providing students the opportunity to build the prerequisite skills to be successful in the industries that they're interested in. And so we take what we know about the workforce development needs and what's on the horizon in terms of needs, but also what's high interest to students. I think that's one of the reasons why we see a lot of students in the programs like you saw today with strong attendance and engagement. And then we want them to learn as much as they can over the summer in these enrichment programs, but also making the connections academically during the school year. And then, as you heard from young people today, begin thinking about the career pathways they want to pursue in high school in our CTE programs. And then we build upon that with apprenticeship, internship opportunities during the summer and also now during the school year. And then we also help students begin to think about if they want to go directly into the workforce or higher ed opportunities, how do they do so and what credentials do they need to earn? And they can earn when they're in high school.
Got you. Any access to like longitudinal data as it relates to like from middle school on, and this is my last question, like college completion. So like once these young people go through middle school, high school, how many of them are completing college within 4 to 6 years, you know?
Well, I think the big data point I would point to, Sam, is that we know when our students are in career and technical education programs that their attendance better, their grades better, and ultimately there are students that are prepared for what's next when they graduate. Now, again, some students earn credentials. They want to go directly into the workforce, which is great. We support that. For those students that go on to higher ed, we see a lot of success as well, but we don't see everybody engage in the way that we would like. And so that's why we've been really thoughtful about what students are interested in and also the career opportunities we have in the city and also in the region that we can connect students to. And so there's still more work to do, but we're really proud of these opportunities that we're creating for students over the summer and then ultimately what happens in the school year as well.
Afternoon, Mayor. I have one on topic, actually one off topic. I know there's also been some discussion about students excited with these programs, but also wanting a little bit more support when it comes to higher education for college. Do you know, has there been any discussion, more pipelines to provide them that support in when it comes to getting to college financially, since they don't get in-state here?
Well, we have a TAG program that's been long-standing, and we're hopeful to increase the TAG dollars. Our kids also in the early college programs can earn AA, which gets them halfway there while they're at DC Public Schools.
And then on my off topic, obviously the recent election that happened Tuesday, have you had a chance to reach out to the newest projected winner for Ward 8 and also just your thoughts on this? Obviously it's been a big topic in terms of whether it sets precedents or whatnot with what's going on in the background with his outside case.
I don't know about precedent, but I haven't talked to the projected winner yet, but I will.
Good morning, Mayor Bowser. My question is for you. I have a question about your budget request included $27 million for OST grants, which is the same amount as last year, and I'm wondering if you could explain why ask for that amount versus asking for more money for those programs.
Are you familiar with our budget situation?
I am. But
okay,
would
that's
love to
your
hear
answer.
Okay. And then also, I just wanted to follow up on the tag increase. Can you talk about what the tag increase will look like? That's news to me. So I'm curious how much more you would ask for and like what
we will try to get it to 15, and we are identifying a legislative path in the Congress to do that. I think there's generally interest, so I don't want to overstated because, the Congress is circuitous sometimes and uncertain, but I think people recognize the need. And not only the benefit for DC kids, but the benefit of the receiving universities where our kids are going to schools all over the United States and contributing in a lot of ways.
Thank you.
Hi, Mayor. There was some reporting yesterday about Virginia and Maryland, I guess, reaching out to the commanders about possibly building that new stadium there, other places. Have you heard anything like that from the commanders? Have you heard anything?
That's a question for them.
Okay, and I mean, is that a realistic risk as the vote is delayed, or do you think the federal government would perhaps step in before that? Something like that.
Well, we are now, I guess, officially out of an exclusivity period, so all the associated risks are there. Yes.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm with the Outlet Technically. I was wondering what the concrete ways you're working with Maryland and Virginia in terms of workforce development programming. Are you working with local higher education institutions, that sort of thing?
Sure. So we are a member of a number of business groups that are very focused on workforce development where, as the chancellor mentioned, we're talking directly to employers about what they need from us. We're working with our economic development authorities throughout the region and recruiting workers and having them let us know. Our universities and we participate usually as a consortium on focusing on that. Now, we will have, as I alluded to, some new initiatives related to workforce and federal employees and very highly skilled workers and how we as a region can work to keep our workers here in the National Capital Region. Yes, last question.
I wanted to follow up from my press corps colleague here about RFK. You said associated risk. Can you delve deeper into that?
Well, when you are not negotiating exclusively, then I mean, I think it. I don't know that I have to say more.
What are the associated risk? So, like at this point,
the associated risk is that the deal doesn't happen.
So, what are you wanting to do?
Doesn't complete.
No doubt. What are you wanting to do to further encourage the commanders?
It's not the commanders. The council the ball is in the council's court to approve the agreement.
Right, it is. But given, if the commanders get anxious, the
commanders are anxious.
So to that point, what discussion, if any, is there around encouraging them to hold tight while the council gets things underway?
The council has to make moves. That's what has to happen. Okay, thank you.
We now return to our previously scheduled program, already in progress.
Lord. We got you mic'd up today.
Who is this one with? USA 9. Okay, so he's with them. 7 and CTV. DC News. Okay.
Yeah, luckily I was in the studio that day, so yeah, I was coming in though. I felt the got it. This basket. Hey, my boys, it's Dr. Deli. It was this morning in studio. Oh, it might have been Jackie. Might have been Jackie. Yeah, she's like weather sometimes hops on. Our morning show's like doing a lot of work around, so like yeah, some people are working. Yeah, it might have been Jackie. Yeah. Also, is he gonna be moving around and stuff?
Never my strong suit.
I know, it's very difficult.
He did phenomenal working with me yesterday.
Fantastic. We stole him from Hyattsville, right?
I'm sure you could ask this. Do you know, or there was an officer with Hyattsville, Zach Nemser? Yeah, went to the academy with him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had, he came up for training like a couple months ago, and I had lunch with him.
Yeah, so every time I use him for like contact info for Hyattsville City, like when we need something from Hyattsville.
I use him, and I use
You're not the pool?
Evans.
Okay.
I'm going to call Charlie.
Dude,
And who else?
good
Fox
dude.
5
Yeah,
said
yeah, went to the academy together.
Fox 5 said they're coming. I'll call them too. Let's see.
Yeah, it's right. Hey, I have Photog 3
Yeah,
and Bowser.
he taught me the ropes a little bit.
What's that?
He taught me the ropes a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like fully civilian, but I was just working on government side, and then when I switched to start doing a little bit of police PIO stuff, that's when he showed me a lot of the ropes.
Yeah, he was awesome in the academy.
It's a pool thing. All right, somebody.
Who's the pool?
Channel 9 is the pool camera? Okay.
Hey, are you guys the pool?
That's what I was told, yes.
Okay.
Okay. And CTV is the pool camera?
I'm up feeding back to everybody, so
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, we can go for lunch.
All right. I just want to make sure.
TOP's never yet. Or do you guys feed to them too, no?
I have no idea how that works.
Okay.
I do not know.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Perez, who at CTV said?
All right. Thank you.
Not CTV, TOP.
So,
So TOP's the only one that I think is not here yet.
PD dog show.
I'll call Fox 5 and see if they're.
No, because he's pool.
You pulling for Fox?
How are you?
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm not calling. Okay, let me call. Delman.
Well, they're the ones who wanted to come, but yeah. Okay.
You should have. So you should really have Scott Allen. He's the one that can.
He's calling TOP right now.
Bill?
Bill's their news director who RSVP'd yesterday.
Bill McFarland, he's the one that RSVP'd on WTOP's behalf.
And he said they're coming.
Yeah.
You want to give him a call?
I'm
His
calling.
number's on?
Yeah, I know Bill. So
Okay,
I'm
you can call. Okay.
call
Bill
Delman.
said Brian's calling. I'm not gonna say what
Sorry? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bill said you all were coming, but maybe he's going to go to TOP. So I didn't know if you all
I can. You want me to?
only going to do it once.
Once it's time for her to come out, yeah.
That way they can see that it's a cool space and we can show them a little bit of the
Okay. Okay. If they miss it, they miss it. There's nothing I can do about it. You know, because I got all these people standing here outside and it's hot and you know. Okay.
you put more than one?
There's 2 training aids out there.
There's 2 training aids out there, so there's 2 things he's going to find. Yeah.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, he's going to let me know, but that's radio.
We put the video out so they can grab the video.
Yeah, and then we can interview Mike.
Are you going to introduce him?
I think we so I'll let Mike introduce himself and then give you some background about Kimber. Is everybody ready? We're all good. Whatever you're ready.
I think you got one more mic coming your way too.
One over this way.
Hey Brian, I do think the Chiefs are going to come down.
Okay.
So I know your mic's all ramp right now.
He's got another one on.
Yes, I have a phone. Can I get it for you? Oh, yeah, if you don't mind. It's on vibrate.
Okay.
If it helps you, you can put those in a little if that helps.
I just trying to look terrible.
Mike is Kimber's handler, and he'll introduce himself. He'll give you the correct spelling and everything, all the information you need to know. You ready, Tiger? Yep. So, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Janung. I'm a sergeant with the Prince George's County Police Department, assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division, and I'm the handler for Kimber. Kimber is a 2-year-old black lab mix, and she serves as the county's only single-purpose firearm detection canine.
Just for clarification, can you spell your last name for me?
Sure, it's Janung, Genung.
And could you just tell us a little bit about Kimber? Was she certified? Has been involved in bringing her up to speed and everything?
Absolutely. So Kimber was certified in November of 2024. She's certified through the North American Police Working Dog Association, known as NAPAWADA. And she's certified as a firearms detection canine. And what that means is she's trained to alert on the odor. There's a chemical compound that's created by oxidized smokeless gunpowder. And that odor is created when a firearm is discharged. So that odor is left on the firearm itself. And it's also left on the ammo, the fired cartridge casing that's expelled from that firearm.
And can you tell me a little bit about how using Kimber is kind of helps with investigations? Like what can she do that's so important that human detective investigators running?
Sure. So the odor that's left behind when a firearm is discharged remains for days, weeks, even months. So through investigations, detectives are learning the potential whereabouts of where a firearm may have been discarded after a potential crime. And what they'll do is they'll give us that information, and typically it's in a wooded area. And Kimber and myself will deploy out and put her on a lead or cut her off her leash and just let her go out there, and she'll work herself in a little grid pattern. And we've had great success with her finding firearms.
You talk about great success. How many firearms has she recovered since she's been out in the field?
Yep. So she's been used on both outdoor deployments and then also on indoor deployments to help with residential search warrants. And currently, she's recovered approximately 20 firearms.
Okay. Given the success rate that you all have, if PGPD plans on getting more dogs to do this kind of work?
Yeah, I've heard that there's some communication about potentially getting a second firearm detection canine, but unsure, where that's at.
Okay. Can you talk to us a little bit about any of some of the bigger cases that she might have broken?
Sure. Her greatest success story, there was a young child that was shot in the county. During the course of the investigation, detectives learned that the suspect fled through a fairly heavily wooded area. And this was in the fall, so you had all the leaf foliage that had fallen on the ground. They had requested Kimber's assistance in trying to search this particular wooded area. Now, this is 3 days after the child was shot, and so we deployed out there, and in no time at all, she was deployed, and she located the firearm, and it was found under a tree that had been fallen, and wedged under the tree, and then covered with a significant amount of leaves.
So, you all would not have been able to find that firearm without it?
Correct. No human's going to find that.
How unique are these dogs? I think a lot of people hear drug sniffing, bomb sniffing, but gun sniffing? How unique are they? Are they prevalent?
Sure. Most jurisdictions have what are called explosive detection canines, and we have, in the county have explosive detection canines. The difference is between those dogs and what Kimber does. Kimber is just single purpose with firearm detection, with the gunshot residue. The dogs that are multi-purpose, they do bombs, they can do accelerants. Kimber, she's only imprinted on that particular odor, so that odor stands out to her more than a typical dog. So when she's deployed, we've had great success.
Can you tell us about Kimber's personality? What kind of dog?
So Kimber lives. You want me to wait?